education. The system or the level of education in my country is not the same like here at USA. So here we have like all comfort and standard. So I was taking pictures of like rooms, educational rooms. So we don't have it. Electricity. We don't have electricity. We don't have library. We don't have even water. So those are really big challenges. So youth, they're really willing to learn, but we don't have library. We don't have, I know these days some would like to merge via online library, but they do not have access to those libraries. So some universities are starting now to do like partnership with big library, online libraries, but this is not starting. So those are kind of big issues that will be facing with youth in my country.
Okay. Anyone else?
The security in the house.
The security?
Yes. The fire alarm. Yeah. So it was it's very fantastic. So, yes.
Is the richness of knowledge that is embedded in culture. I mean, there is so much knowledge that is being installed in young generation here comparing to our countries where the focus is just on accessing the education opportunities and education itself. So it's all about acquiring or being enrolled in schools but not working on the literacy level, right? That's the huge difference. There's a difference between education and knowledge. And that's one thing that I wish to achieve in my community, just to create a community where seeks knowledge and understanding the nature of things, the nature of being, which we are not taught in our systems. And second thing is the will of those who are ruling and the ruled. While here people can hold their leaders accountable, question them about their actions and inactions, and freedom of speech, freedom of association. I was a political leader in my country. I was a member of parliament, but I mean, the kind of political space control made me head a political case for freedom of association. I was in a room like this, talking to my people, but they exceeded the number of the people that were supposed to be in. But I had a political case, and it took me 3 years to just get out of the case. But here you could see people easily protesting, just having the policy security escorting them, as long as it does not involve the rights and also the laws of the country. So to me, that is one thing about the ruled. And about the rulers, I guess, we have been asking ourselves so many questions. Why America? Of course, we know concept stretching is further different because of the culture, history of these countries, because we were colonized, our people were taken slaves and stuff. But again, Africa is so rich in terms of natural resources. But at times you think maybe we have a resource scarce. You're seeing kind of development here, and you would wish for the rulers or those people who have political power and technocrats to make change in case of the education, access to education, roads and stuff. We were taking a ride on a bus here, and we were just joking the day one of the drivers, Alton, gave some breaks. We were saying if it was in Africa, if Felton took a break with the potholes, they would just take you from your relationship to somebody else's relationship. So these are kind of things I think I take wholeheartedly, and the fact that I am a young leader, I think I have to work on preparing generation of leaders that will have a political will, just to help the people and change the lives of those we want to serve.
Excellent.
I'm a lawyer there, and for me there is four challenges there. One of them is the access to finance. youth there, either in public sector or private sector, small business, they are suffering to access because the banks have many conditions and terms in order to have loans, something like that. The second thing is the security. There's insecurity area because we have been experienced conflict, civil war, and even as a result, South Sudan has been separated in 2011, and then also Darfur region is still there. And this situation, even for me and for others, like a threat, you know, we use normally to face some challenges, some threats, because we represent some victims, politicians, civil protesters, something like that. So it's dangerous either for us or for the civilians. The third thing is about the political instability. There's no where you just military coup or something like, or some problems. Again, it's, you know, a country like Sudan, about 45,000 of population, not thousand, million of population, but at the same time, there is more than 100 political party. This is really something crazy because anyone has his own, and he like to create and publish his own political party. This is one of the big problems. Yeah, so many, you know, there's many.
And as you all go back to face these many challenges, you come here to the United States and you see a contrast. Limited resources, light, water, in regards to the government, local and federal, taking care of these basic utilities, which we consider to be at least basic rights. To have light, to have water, to have gasoline, to have even telecommunication right now. If you go anywhere and you don't have internet, you know, that's a basic right. But for you all, it's a privilege, not a basic right. So what I would say to each and every one of you all as we start to engage in this, you know, brief workshop, is that you are really blessed with an opportunity. But to be a mover and a shaker is really someone who cleared a wilderness. And to really be in a position to clear the wilderness is going to take a lot out of a lot of you all. But you're blessed with an opportunity, because if there wasn't a wilderness to clear, you really wouldn't have a job, if you see what I'm saying, as a mover and a shaker. If everything was all done, if it was all polished, if all of the utilities were taken care of, if the educational system was up to par, if the political system was up to par, if the banking system were regulated in a way to help people with microloans and so forth, everything was up to par, you wouldn't really have a challenge. You will go back to something that someone else had already built, and you would be really riding on their highway. Here in America, for you to really engage in some of these challenges that you're speaking of, that someone else has already created, you have to be up at a different class to get into that door. Because when they created the more paved field, they created a system whereby they had a gatekeeper where you can't get in. Because they've already created their highway, in a sense, if you understand what I'm saying. You all have the opportunity to create the highway. You may see it as a problem, and it is, a challenge, and it is, but it's also an opportunity. But I say all this to say the key of this workshop is to understand how to create an opportunity that is beyond your reach. How to create something that's greater than yourself. Each and every one of you all are here at this time because of some particular reason. And you're going back to your own country because you're placed in a position to challenge the challenges. There's so many of your peers who did not and will never have this opportunity that you all have today. Coming to the United States for 6 weeks to be part of the Mandela Fellow, and now to go back and to do something with the connections and the resources and that you all have established here. If you weren't supposed to take on a challenge, the universe would not have created an opportunity for you to be here and to interact with the people that you've been interacting with. And each and every one of you all don't know the course of the path that you're on that is going to lead you to some level of greatness. And this right here means that you have to challenge the most challenging opportunities that you face to be somewhere in your history book. And I'm not saying you're trying to be in the history book, but what I'm saying is that to obstruct and change something that's existed and been existing for a long time, you have to have a different mindset. You have to have a different mentality. It's not going to be easy. All right. So with that being said, the essence I'm going to pass out is on a path. And with each and every one of you all on a path, that means that there's an end point, or there's a point whereby you're trying to achieve something. What we're going to do today is to be a little bit more concrete in regards to breaking up into groups. And the group is going to really discuss an ultimate intention. And what I want you all to do is we're going to pick about 4 different groups. And with the 4 different groups, a type of common, though it's going to be general enough whereby, although you're in this particular categorical group, and let's say, so for instance, I usually break it up into health and wellness. I usually break it up into individual growth and development, relationship development, and financial growth and development. But, we can, if that works, we can go with it, or we can create 4 groups that, 4 different areas that you all may think to be a little bit more relevant to what you guys are going back and face. A lot of people talked about education. Folks talk about, financial growth and development in regards to banking situations. There's a lot of political issues that you all are facing. And some people talk about security. I'm quite sure there's issues in regards to workforce development, and so on and so forth. So at the end, you are supposed to create an intention, an ultimate intention. And the intention is something that you're going to visualize, that when you take your last breath, you have created this possibility. It might be an institution, and that institution would live on beyond you. It might be wealth, and that wealth would be generational, which will pass on to your children's children. It may be in whatever form that you deem is your mission, your destiny here on this earth. It is an ultimate intention. What is an ultimate intention? An ultimate intention is something that you align yourself with the universe in the co-creation of it. It's not a sub-intention. I'm a developmental psychologist. I achieved a PhD in psychology. That was an intention. That's a sub-intention. What I do with my degree in psychology over the next 50 years is my ultimate intention. And the ultimate intention must be something that is more challenging and sacrificial to create, whereby you have to align yourself with universal energy to create it. The issue that I've been talking to you all about last time and now is, how do you connect yourself to universal energy, speak the language of the universe when you're trying to create something greater than yourself? You guys get me?
Yeah.
Because each and every one of you all are going back to a challenge that you cannot create by pure flesh. you have to tap into the part of you that is still connected to spirit to create the great possibility that you're facing. But the reason why the issue seems so challenging is because you're looking at it as a human being. You're looking at it in regards to something called relative reality. And you're not looking at it in regards to ultimate reality. Now, if I say, what is relative reality? Relative reality speaks to the relativity of this dimension. If you throw a ball up in the air, because of gravity, it is relative, it will what? It would fall down. Within ultimate reality, in regards to the reality that we have come from and that we are connected to, if you throw the ball up in the air, you can still manifest a possibility for it to stay up. Something that's outside of this realm. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so to create some of the possibilities that you all are going back to look to create, you must tap into what? Ultimate reality. Because ultimate reality is not dependent on the physics of this world. But to tap into ultimate reality, you must understand one essential thing. And what is that? You must understand that you are a spiritual being simply having a human experience. You are a spiritual being simply having a human experience. What's your name?
Ruth. Ruth.
Ruth?
Yes.
Where are you from again?
From Congo, DRC.
You're from DRC.
Yes.
And Ruth, there's a possibility because of our medical science, we're not really dying in the same way from cancer, we're not dying the same from heart disease. And with proper medical attention, there's a possibility that we can live to 100. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, how old are you?
30.
30.
Yeah.
So you have 70 more years. In this next 70 years, do you believe that you can create an ultimate possibility for yourself? In the next 70 years. So that when you take your last breath, you would like, maybe I didn't ultimately, I got as close to the moon as I could, but I shoot for the stars, but I got to the moon. So I'm good. But if I didn't think this particular way, if I looked at the challenge that I was facing, and if I only saw the challenge, another possibility beyond the challenge, then I would have been stuck with the relative reality of what I'm facing. You see what I'm saying? All right. So how do we tap into ultimate reality? How do we access the fact that we are a spiritual being having a human experience? You guys know what I mean by a spiritual being having a human experience? I mean, does anyone have an issue with that?
What do you mean exactly? That's it.
Spirit. So, come here for a minute. I'm going to give you this cap. And if I ask you, what is the chemical compound of that? Can anybody tell me what it is? The chemical compound? H2O, right?
Yeah.
2-part hydrogen, 1 part oxygen.
Yeah.
Okay, H2O. And what is the source of H2O? It came from this. It came from this bottle, right? So the essence of the chemical compound of this that's in that cap is relative to the chemical compound that's here, the source that it came from, right? Okay, and if I'm going to ask you to take the ingredients of this particular cap and go to the end of the room.
All right.
What is the chemical compound that's in that cap? H2O. All right, I want to envision yourself getting on the plane and going back to your country. What's your country again?
Kenya.
Kenya, and you're going to take that cap with you. And when you land in Kenya, and what will be the chemical compound in that cap? H2O. Because the essence of what that is came from the source of what it is. And it doesn't matter if it's here, there, or back in Kenya, it will still be that which it came from. Where did you come from?
America.
We didn't teach you that. We didn't teach you
What I'm saying, okay, what is the essence of your chemical compound? What is the essence of who you are? The essence of who you are is spirit. You manifest as flesh and bones in this time, in this creation. African male, black, eyes, nose, hands, and feet, right? But the essence of who you are is spirit, because you came from something that is greater than all of us. Would everyone agree? Whether you are a Christian or Muslim, even if you don't even have any faith, most people believe that we came from something greater than who we are in this present form. And the essence of the core of our ingredients is spirit. Now, to understand that is a phenomenal premise, an understanding, a concept, that you are a spiritual being who just happened to take on human form for a period of time to manifest a possibility. But the essence of who you are has never been disconnected from where you came from. And it can never